Hey, this is Stacia, and we're going to take a look at a blitz game that I played on Leechess.org. I'm currently trying to get to 1900 in blitz on Leechess. I've been there once before, but haven't really tried in a while. I'm at 1810 at the moment, and this game I played is 1770. So I had the white pieces, and well, let's see what we can learn from this game. I went e4 and they played c5, the Sicilian defense. So of course I like to play d4. They take and c3. I want to get a Smith-Morra gambit. So they played d6 here. And okay, so they didn't take on c3. Like if they take on c3, I would just take with the knight and claim that, yeah, I'm down a pawn, but I've got excellent squares for my pieces and my pieces are open and I've got open C and D files for the rook, and my pawn is in the center and could go to e5 at any moment, making knight f6 not a good idea. So yeah, but in the game, they didn't take. So, well, now that I played c3, that does allow me to take a full center. So I gave them one more chance to accept my gambit. And then when they played e6, I simply take in the center, which I'll check with the engine now, but I'm pretty sure it's the best move. Yeah, by far the computer loves it, but the computer is not a big fan of the Smith-Morra gambit. I mean, it thinks it's like playable, but it always thinks that black's like kind of equal. But okay, so I take here. It's not a Morra gambit anymore, but I do have this really nice center and nice squares still for all my pieces. So I think white's just better. It's very easy to play white here. Okay, so they go bishop e7. They're just developing. Bishop d3. I think this move is probably right. The reason I didn't go bishop c4 like in the Morra is that, okay, in the Morra, you're looking to sacrifice sometimes, or you're looking to provoke e5 and then the bishop's good. Here, I'm not sure that's true. I kind of felt that the bishop belongs on d3. Let's see what the engine says. Yeah, it says bishop d3. Okay, that's kind of what I felt as well. And okay, they castled. Looks like we're still following like over 10 master games in the database at this point. Okay, now I decided to go e5. I am wondering if this is a good decision or not. I kind of saw that I could get my pawn to e5, and there is no queen trade since I put the bishop on d3. So like if we go e5 takes, sometimes you got to worry about them trading down. But I don't have to worry about that here, and it is a tempo on the knight as well, so I thought this is probably a good move. Engine says it's okay. I mean, we probably could just castle here. Yeah, Engine likes castling better, or queen e2, or bishop e3. So computer is basically telling me, like, hey, look, keep developing. You don't have to be so fast to push your pawn like this. Okay. But this does, well, it kind of forces a trade. We have 2 points of contact here. John Bartholomew likes to say that. So it's a very forcing move, which is part of why it appealed to me. Now, they could go knight d5 here, which they didn't do in the game. This maybe was the best way to go about this. I don't think I would take the knight, but now I kind of wish my bishop was on c4. I would probably just castle, and then if they take like this, I take here. Okay, it's very similar to the game still, so that's fine too. It's all fine. Okay, but they did take the pawn in the game, and I took back. Okay, now their knight's attacked. And yeah, now they hopped into d5. Now, I thought it's probably a mistake to take this knight. That breaks my rule, never trade. But what I really mean is, like, why am I doing this? Like, okay, they have an isolated pawn, but I just opened up their bishop, and now black's the one with easy development. We both have 2 bishops. I guess I still have more space. You know, maybe they don't, maybe this is sort of a bad, like, isolated queen pawn position for black. Actually, I think it might be, but we don't have to play this way. On the other hand, if they want to take their awesome knight on d5, which is in the center of the board, and take my knight, I would be happy to take on the isolated c pawn because they're wasting a lot of time there and their bishop will still be bad on c8. So that was sort of my thought. So I just simply castled. Nh7 does approve, and then they did take. So Nh7 says that is the best move. But the Nh7 understands that this is a bad isolated queen pawn position, which I didn't understand. So it doesn't want to allow that, probably. So yeah, like, I just want to experiment for a second here. Like, let's pretend that black had more development. Like, I'll waste a couple moves here. Let's pretend they had this, and I just, went here or something. And let's pretend they did, well, what else can they do to develop? Not too much. Can I take now? Let's see. If they just go, let's say they go here. Still likes white a lot here. Yeah, it still likes white a lot. I think it's because of this pawn. Yeah, what am I talking about? In an isolated queen pawn position, this pawn's usually here, but it's already on e5. That's probably why the Nh7 likes white so much. I have so much to learn about chess still. It's just amazing. I've been studying it like so much for like 8 years now, and I just feel like there's always more to learn. It's just insane to me. Okay, but in the game, knight to c6. Okay, I've got this pawn, but we can play with a c pawn like this. Now, if I'm not, I don't know though. Basically, in exchange for this structural defect, this isolated c pawn, they've got some work to do to get their bishop in the game. And I also felt like this pawn's temporarily, at least, sort of curtailing this knight on c6. So one idea for me from here is I want to push this pawn forward, I think. When you have an isolated pawn, you generally want to push it to trade it off. So that was in my mind as a potential thing, but I also just want to play queen e2 in general. Then I can play c4. I'll have good control of it there, and I can bring this rook over to d1. So that's kind of what I was thinking. The queen on c2 also will protect e5, which kind of frees up this knight. So maybe I can do stuff later. So that was sort of the idea. So queen e2 and a6. a6 seems slow. I'm not sure why they play that move. I don't like it. The Nh7 says it's a mistake, and now white's +2. Wow. Yeah, white's +2 now. Yeah, I tell my students this all the time, and one day they'll listen. Actually, probably not. But I always say, like, when they make a move like this, I'm like, what does that do? I mean, you just wasted a turn. You should be developing your knight, or not your knight. You should be getting your bishop out. You should be, yeah, I don't know, getting your bishop out. Got to solve the problem with the bishop. I kind of like queen a5. Like, that's a move you could play because it does come with tempo on the pawn, and it gets ready to bring this rook in. But I also thought maybe they could just go here. Can they not play this for some reason? I guess the problem is there's nowhere for this knight to go. Yeah, it's just like a tough position for black. Like, computer says queen e4 is just great because we threaten checkmate, and they have to do this and weaken their squares, and then we come in with the bishop right away. So, okay, yeah, bishop d7 is actually not good because of that. But I don't know what a6 does. I feel like they want to do this, which makes sense, but the problem is it takes like one more turn than the simple plan of doing this. And I guess they can't even go b6 because that would lose the game instantly. So I'm kind of understanding how they backed into this now, because that would attack the knight and threaten mate. That's a fork. So we just win the game there. So yeah, they are in a bit of trouble. Yeah, computer says they should go queen c7. And I think the reason is it gets off the line with the rook coming to d1, gets in line with my weak pawn, and it also protects the knight, so they could possibly go b6. Like if I just play a move like h4, I think they could go b6 now. This is a little bit better because it doesn't lose instantly. Okay, so a little bit better. Takes. Okay, I go queen e2. They went a6. Okay, so I just simply bring my rook to d1. So queen e4 is what I should have played. I like that a lot, actually. Yeah, there's two ideas with this. We're stopping b6 or b5 because it would hang the knight, but we're also provoking this weakness to get our bishop on h6, which is just a great square for this bishop. So I missed that plan. That's a blitz game. Give me a break. So rook d1, though, looks natural. Okay, and I wasn't sure what to do here. So I did play bishop f4. I'm just playing a little bit lazy with this move, if you ask me. But white's better, and it is a blitz game. So I spent all of 30 seconds so far, but my opponent spent 4 seconds. Wow. Didn't realize that during the game. Okay, so we're both playing very quickly. So this move looks very natural. I'm just overprotecting the pawn. That's from the book My System. Nh7 liked overprotection. I like it sometimes because I want to free up my other pieces. You know, like if the bishop's doing this, I can free up this and this. And I thought if they ever go f6, I can possibly take, although the bishop would be hanging for now. So I don't know, but it's a developing move. Okay, so they go b5. That was clearly their plan, but I thought this was a mistake. Now, the reason I thought it was a mistake is because of the move I played in the game, c4, which is actually a blunder. Wow. I thought I get to trade off my weak pawn. I couldn't be happier. But this actually loses all advantage. That's just crazy to me. Yeah, if you want to pause your video, there's one move here that gives white like almost a winning position. Go ahead and do so. It's knight to g5. Wow. Knight to g5. I mean, I thought queen e4 might be it, because it does pin the knight and it threatens mate again. They have to go g6, but same thing as before. We go here. Now on rook d8, yeah, computer just says like white has a little bit of advantage, but it's not anything crazy. And they just want us to go queen f4 or h4 and just continue the attack. And probably black will defend somehow. It doesn't look fun as black, though, I have to say. Maybe they're going to take here, and that's the thing. So it's not queen e4. It's knight g5. Knight g5. What is this? What is this? I'm not sure. If they go h6, oh, I've seen this idea before. We actually have this knight h7 move. It looks kind of funny because it's like the knight's just kind of like just hopping right in the castle for some reason, but it does attack a rook. So, and he is protected. Now, if they just play f5 or something, I'll take the rook. So they've got to move their rook. So let's just say they go, you know, here. Now the computer wants queen e4. I'm trying to understand why. And I think I do understand why. I think the reason is that now we're going to just move the knight with check and play queen h7, right? Like if they do just a lazy move, I think we just go check. I mean, they can take it, but then we get our checkmate. So that is a threat. So they have to stop that. The king can't go here because of the knight. And if they go, wow, this is tough. If they go here, we go back to knight g5 with discovery. And then we're attacking f7 with the fork. Wow, this is a really cool attack. It says it's just mate in 5. That's insane. Like computer wants to play g6. What would I want to play though? I mean, you can't take it, right? you just get mated, so you can't take it. So what do you do? I'm gonna block the diagonal. I get this. Here. Now we don't even have to take the rook. We can play this move. Wow, this is really nuts. Then we can do this, like threatening checkmate here. Wow. That's pretty wild. So computer wants to do this just to free up this square for the king. But then we just go here. King e7 and checkmate, right? Queen f7 mate. That is some cool stuff. Wow. So this is why it's good to study games, even your blitz games. You can always learn new ideas and better ways of doing things. This is actually really instructive. So let's see. After this, I think I may show this game to my student later and see if it's interesting to her. She's 5, so I'm always curious, like, what is interesting to her and what's not, but I think this would be some good stuff to show her. All right, so I played this, which loses all advantage. Just crazy. Because probably this attack was really strong and I just missed it. So they take, I take, yeah, and now I see why. Because look, that bishop, that was their one big problem. It's solved. Problem solved. This rook can come in the game now. So, yeah, and I've got my pawn on e5, but the attack's not going to be the same as it was anymore. So, especially since the bishop came off the diagonal, off of h7, so we don't even have queen e4 anymore. Sorry, I need some water. So yeah, that's a very interesting thing that we need to understand when we're playing chess. Is sometimes it really matters which plan you pick. I had 2 ways to go. I could attack or do this, and the attack was like winning. So that's unfortunate. All right, but let's see the rest of the game. There's some crazy tactics now. Yeah, I thought this is a mistake. Computer doesn't seem to think so, though. Because I'm like, well, I won a pawn. Okay, well, they could play bishop a3, which I missed. So we should always be aware of tempo moves like this. That does look kind of annoying. Now I could, I guess, move and attack the bishop. But then they could play, let's see. Oh my gosh, could they play knight d4? This is what the computer wanted. It's like a queen trade variation, right? So it looks bad for me, though, because if I take their queen, they take with check. So I don't have time, and now their knight's actually not attacked at all. So all I can do is... Oh, wait, I can take this way. Yeah, I can take it, I guess, but I don't know. That doesn't seem good. I lost a rook. They actually won material, so we don't want to do that. Also, this pin I have is gone, so I want to keep that pin. So they could have caused me problems with this bishop a6 move. I probably should have gone rook c2, but then the engine says this is fine. Oh, they're forking us again. Jeez. And this time I could take this way, and they take here. And this is just trading. These are just trades now. And it seems about equal to me. I mean, maybe white's a little better. I'm not sure, but okay. So, in the game, though, they simply took, and I took back. And I really liked this position because now that knight is pinned and attacked, right? So I like that. So they played h6 to avoid back rank issues that are surely going to come up. And yeah, knight d4, let's attack, right? So when there's a pinned piece, you should put pressure on it. Or I say attack it. But when I tell the kids attack it, sometimes they think I mean capture it. No, I don't mean capture it. I mean attack it again, you know, especially with lower value pieces. So, like, whatever. So, knight d4. Let's put pressure on this. Attack it again. They got to do something about that. Okay, so they went here. I thought this is a clever move, actually, because now if I take this knight, they will throw in this move. I have to take back, and then they can actually take here. And if I take here, okay, they don't get back ranked because they made luft, and they're guarding the square anyway. I have this pawn, but I have back rank issues. I probably have to just solve that first, and then they could go after my pawn, I think. So like rook a6. I don't think that pawn's going to go anywhere. They're going to be able to stop it with their bishop and rook. This should be about equal. I guess white's a little better, of course, because we're up a pawn, but I don't think this might not be a winning advantage, though. We have winning chances, I would say. Okay, so anyway, so their move, this rook d8 move was interesting. So I played what I thought was an interesting move. I went knight b5. Computer says this one's a mistake. I wasn't sure what to play here, though. I knew I did not want to capture the knight. Yeah, you know, the computer wants me to solve my... It wants me to just chill. Be like, ding chillin'. Stacia chillin'. I should just chill and just make luft. Just follow my rule, make luft, not war. Luft is the German word for air. We want to make breathing room for the king so we don't get back rank mated. I'm going to have to do that at some point, right? The rooks are coming in and stuff. Like, you don't want there to be tricks, like back rank tricks and whatnot. But okay, white's still better after knight b5, and I did expect them to take on d1, which they did. So I took back, and they went queen to b8. Yeah. So I was up to something here. Well, I liked the fact that they have to keep protecting this, right? If they don't protect that, like if they just move their queen somewhere, actually, where do they even move their queen? They only have like one place to put it, actually. Okay, I guess they could have also played rook d8, which I didn't think about in the game. That would have been annoying, right? Because we actually can't take the queen because checkmate's more important. And if we take the rook, well, then they take with the queen, right? And then when we take the knight, yay, we win. No, we lose. So, like, tactics. Lots of tactics. Yeah, and now you can see none of this stuff would be possible if I had played, like, g3 or h3 or king of 1. Like, I should have stopped this back rank stuff. So knight b5 takes. They go queen b8, though, which is not as good as rook d8, that's for sure. So let's call that a blunder. And now I played knight to d6. So again, imprecise. What I should have done, I think, yeah, we should pin the knight. Let's attack the knight again. Actually, that's winning, isn't it? That just looks winning. It's attacked twice. You can't even go here. This is where you'd like to go to protect. Can't even do that. And this time, if you move the knight somewhere, like anywhere, let's say you attack here. Well, this time I get to take with check. Yeah, that's not good, right? Like, I moved my queen. You never captured me, so that's important. So, yeah, rook c1 was absolutely winning. I missed that one. Instead, I went knight to d6 with the idea that if they take, which they did, I get a passed pawn that's supported by my bishop. This seemed like a good idea. So they actually should not have taken the knight. They should just go rook c7 and just play from here. White's still better, but it's not as winning as this variation with this. This is better. Much better for white. This pawn's very far advanced. I can play d7 with tempo on the rook. They can't even take my bishop because I'll be making a queen with check and all stuff. So this was their idea. They they did interference on me. And it is kind of interesting because the knight's actually protecting that pawn. So my bishop is attacked and they severed its connection to the pawn. So, but here, I believe I found a very nice winning move. So if you want to pause your video, see if you can find it as well, go ahead and do so now. D7, exclam. Okay, I like this move, and I see it is the top engine move because the idea is that, well, pawn promotion tactics, but also you can't take the bishop. That's the first thing, right? Because then we just take here, here, here. This is obviously a win. They don't even get to keep their knight, sadly for them. So they can't take the bishop. That's the first thing. And I thought if they go here, I can take the knight. That's going to be a free knight. So what did they do? They're running out of options here. In the game, rook c7, I really don't know what else they do. And I see it is the top engine move. But then I thought here, let's sack the queen. Let's go. I love sacking the queen. I had 30 seconds left. But I can calculate better than I used to. So I thought they can't really take the queen. Yeah, they didn't in the game. If they take the queen, I just make a new one. They have to trade their queen. I get check. They go here. Ooh, actually, do I have a problem here? I can save my bishop. I don't want to take because I still get mated. Should have made left, huh? But I can just simply play. I could play here. I'm still guarding this, so that's fine. All right, so I did see that during the queen's sacrifice. So they actually didn't take, they played there. So they're trying to hold on here desperately and maybe win on the clock. I am down to 17 seconds, so definitely possible, especially if you know me. That's like my favorite thing, to lose on time. So I was definitely like, yeah, I'm going to lose on time. Yes, let's do it. No, just kidding. I wanted to win. All right, so I took the rook now. I like this move as well. Hey, you don't want to accept my queen sacrifice? I'll do another one. Okay, but these are just simple pawn promotion tactics now. I mean, take, I will make a queen. I think this does happen. Again, they can't take the bishop, right? Yeah, they can't take the bishop because then I just take their queen. So they took, because what else? And we got this. And then even here, I get to just simply take the pawn. We're completely winning. We've got a rook and a bishop. And yeah, I think soon he just resigns. Yeah, he just resigns in this position. So I thought it was an interesting game. I wanted to share it with you all. And of course, analyze and learn something from it. So this is Stacia, and I'll be back with more chess. Okay, bye.